we are going to start with the session as has been marked. So today for that session we have with us Shri Maheshwar Kingopa ji, who is working as AGM, Assistant General Manager, SIDBI Chandigarh Branch Office. On behalf of NITTR Chandigarh sir, I welcome you to this session.
Thank you.
So brief introduction to the sir. Sir has been working as a AGM, SIDBI's Chandigarh branch office at present. He has joined to this position recently in May 2006. Prior to this, sir was working at audit vertical at their at SIDBI's Lucknow head office, and also has handled credit operations at Gurgaon branch for 5 years. And sir has, I am thankful to sir that sir has spared valuable time out of his busy schedule, and he was there half an hour before with me in my office, and his presentations were also he shared yesterday evening. So it was a wonderful gesture that sir was proactive in doing that. And while I was having interaction with sir has a lot of knowledge with him regarding different kinds of funding facilities that an entrepreneur can avail. So it is on between you and him how much you can extract of him. So without taking any further time, I hand over the platform to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Assistant Professor Shri Amardev Singh. I'm extremely honored and delighted that I'm in your august company. I'm really thankful to Professor Dhamija for having given us this opportunity to present the schemes of SIDBI for the young and budding entrepreneurs. I mean, I was just discussing with Professor Singh. I mean, he informed me that the participants are majorly from engineering and polytechnic institutes, and some are from architectural institute. So you are basically teaching and dealing with the budding entrepreneurs of India. So it will be quite handy if you have the basic information, how to avail the financial assistance if they want to set up a unit or if they want to, start a service. So we are really thankful to Nitar that they have crafted such a beautiful program. I was just looking at the schedule, and there are a lot of sessions on SSI and how to promote entrepreneurship, and various sessions on marketing techniques, how to project your product and how to sell and distribute it. So that'll be really helpful to all of you and for all your students who will be looking to set up the manufacturing or service units. To start with, I would like to introduce SIDBI to you. SIDBI is Small Industries Development Bank of India. It's the only institution which has been set up to cater to MSME sector in the country. It has been set by an act of Parliament in the year 1990. We got separated from IDBI. Earlier, it was a wholly owned subsidiary of IDBI Bank. Now it's an independent financial institution. To start with, I've kept a very small presentation on our schemes. The schemes which are very popular, easy to understand, and maximum disbursements, and sanctions are under these schemes only. There are n number of schemes, so I'll not go deeply into that. I don't want to confuse you with that. So I've kept it a very, in a very layman sort of thing, so that it becomes easier for you to understand. The primary function of SIDBI is refinance or indirect finance, which means we are not much into direct lending. We don't give direct loans much. Although we have started over a decade ago, we have already started direct finance also. But primarily, we are funding to other commercial banks, state financial corporations, regional rural banks, and other NBFCs who do on lending to these micro, small, and medium enterprises. 80% of the portfolio of the bank consists of refinance or indirect finance. Apart from that, all the central subsidy schemes for small and medium sector, all are centralized through SIDBI only. We are the nodal agency. Like we have, I would just like to give you some popular subsidy scheme names. That is Credit Linked Capital Subsidy Scheme and Technology Upgradation Fund Scheme for textile sector, and Integrated Development of Leather Sector Scheme. That is for leather sector, wherein if you buy, technically upgraded machinery, state of the art machinery, you get capital subsidy on that. For example, in CLCSS, Credit Linked Capital Subsidy Scheme, if you're investing in the machine, say up to 1 crore rupees, 15 lakh is provided by the central government. And we are the nodal agency for that. We are the verifying agency for that. We recommend to the central government that this unit has implemented or installed new set of machinery which are covered and which is eligible, and subsidy should be given for this purpose. Apart from refinance, yes, of course, we do direct finance also. We are primarily market makers. Our role is to understand the feel and pulse of the industry. Earlier, it was very difficult for the promoters or borrowers to avail working capital assistance. It was very, very expensive, and but working capital is required for industry. For day-to-day operations, you need money. So we came up with customized products like bills discounting scheme, a receivable finance scheme, which were given at a much cheaper and affordable rates. And following that, other commercial banks, they also followed the suit. Based on they picked up this product from us and started lending to the small and medium enterprises sector. Also, I would like to tell you, if you don't understand anything, you can interrupt me in between, you can stop me in between. I think we have sufficient time, so you can, I want it to be an interactive session. So if you need to ask anything, you can kindly stop me in between. Then one niche area that we have is risk capital. Since you will be dealing with students, they will be graduating very soon. Some of them would like to be entrepreneurs. Some of them may be having security with them to avail loans. And some of them may not be having enough equity or capital to invest. So how do they start the business? They have talent, they have educational qualification, but don't have enough resources to start. SIDBI assist in that purpose also, especially in case of startups. The contribution which is to be brought by the promoter, by the young budding promoter, if he is able to sell his project or sell his idea to us, and if it clicks with us, there is an internal rating system. We have an investment committee that goes through the project proposal. We, as in SIDBI, like to take a stake in that project. Instead of giving a loan, we invest in that project and we expect dividends from that. So rate of return is a bit higher, but then you don't need to shell out any security, or don't need to give an immovable property to us to raise equity. And the benefit of this is, if you have equity in store with you, raising of debt also becomes very easier. There is a norm in banking industry that debt equity ratio should be 2:1. If you have 1 rupee, banks can give you loans up to 2 rupees. So if you have equity with you, you can further raise loans to expand or enhance your business. Then there is one more activity which we are doing, that is promotional and developmental activities. We were primarily set up for this very purpose only. This we do by way of various grants to various institutes, which are into skill development. That they are giving skill development to youths in the country. I'm not very sure whether NITR has got any grant from SIDBI. Since I've recently joined, I don't know whether my branch has given any grant to you or not. But these kind of, we can sponsor a program like this program has been sponsored by some institute, SIDBI can also do that. So these kind of activities we take up on frequent basis. Service sector we also cover. Service sector includes your hotels, restaurants, hospitals. So these kind of projects can also be covered by SIDBI. This is a very popular scheme. This is in line with the Prime Minister's Make in India scheme. SIDBI is the nodal agency for that. And SIDBI along with RBI have created a corpus of 10,000 crore for this very purpose. And we have named it SMILE, SIDBI Make in India Loan for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. The benefit of this scheme is that rate of interest is very low. It is below 10%, which is not the case as of now. You know, if you go to any commercial bank, they would especially for startups, they would ask for 13% or 14%. Under this very scheme, it can be covered under less than 10%. And the tenure of this scheme is also quite long. I mean, because startup needs a bit of gestation period. You know, when you set up a business, you don't start generating profits right from day one. So we give a moratorium period or gestation period also in this, and this loan can go up to 10 years depending on the kind of project. In the moratorium period, you don't have to pay installment to us. You just have to pay the interest initially. Depending on the project, it could be the moratorium period could be for 1 year or 18 months or 24 months. Till that time, you would just pay the interest part. Principal, you need not pay. After that, principal and interest will go simultaneously hand in hand. In this scheme also, if you don't have enough equity with you, SIDBI contributes in the way of, by way of soft loan. Say, suppose you have a project of rupees 100 and you know, your eligibility comes out to be, say, 75% of loan to be given by SIDBI and 25% by way of promoter contribution. You have to bring 25 rupees on your own. And if you're finding it difficult, then SIDBI can contribute in that, so that your contribution, you know, becomes lower. So that soft loan will be given at a fixed rate of 9.35% for the first 3 years. After 3 years, then normal banking rates will apply. That is the floating rate, and which is based on prime lending rate of the bank. So next I move on to next scheme. Okay, there is one very important aspect that loan up to ₹1 crore. We don't ask for any collateral security from you. There is no need to give any immovable property. We have a trust, that is Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, wherein, you know, it's a kind of insurance. You pay a small premium every year and your loan is insured, so that in case, you know, market conditions are such, I mean, there is a genuine reason if business does not work, so that this trust will pay us the default money on behalf of the promoter. As I already told you, in this scheme there is lower promoter.
How you finance it? Collateral नहीं दे रहे हैं और कोई सिक्योरिटी भी नहीं लेंगे.
सिक्योरिटी जो प्राइमरी एसेट्स हैं, जो आप जैसे कोई मशीन लेना चाह रहे हैं, वो तो हमारे पास हाइपोथेकेटेड होगा ही ना. That will be there. That will be there. Yes, that will be the primary security. Additional security नहीं लेंगे for loans up to 1 crore rupees. Or promoter contribution, I have already told you, there is lesser, equity that you need to bring in under the scheme. I mean, just 15% for projects up to 1 crore. That means 85 lakh will be by way of loan. Only 15 lakh is to be brought by the promoter, in case the project size is 1 crore. And in case of projects for more than 1 crore, only 20% is to be brought by the promoter, and this will be given by SIDBI. Here, DER is debt equity ratio, which means if you have 1 rupee, industry norm is I can lend you 2 rupees. But under this scheme, I can lend you 2.5 rupees. So I can give you more under this scheme. Whenever you go for a loan, there is a processing fee. Some of you might have availed home loan or car loan. There is a processing fee, and generally industry trended it is 1%. But under this scheme, it is subsidized, and we are charging only 0.5% of the sanction loan amount. Now this could be of some interest to you because most of you are from engineering institutes. This again is a very popular scheme. It's called 4E, that is End-to-End Energy Efficiency Financing Scheme. The rate of interest in this scheme is even cheaper. It starts from 8.1%, but there is a limitation that the loan size cannot be more than 1.5 crores. Again, it's for technology orientation. If you have, if you are utilizing at present, you're utilizing traditional machinery, and if you want to go in for technically upgraded machines, if you want to install solar panels for captive use to reduce your, power and electricity bill, that kind of burden, these kind of loans are being promoted by SIDBI. And all the loans, whether they fall into investment grade or not, we have a committee, branch level committee that looks into it, and we give an internal rating. Rating C1 to C8. I will not go deeper into that. These are the investment grade. Below C8, investment grade is not there. Say, suppose if rating comes out to be C9, then we cannot take up that project. So C1, if you get C1, then you get 8.1%. If you get C8, then you get 9.9%. So it's like that. The better the rating, the better the interest rate. And tenure is a bit short in as compared to Smile scheme. It is only up to 5 years, and the minimum tenure should be 3 years. We cannot give you loans, for tenure below 3 years. Promoter contribution is even lesser in this. You just need to bring only 10% equity from your side, and 90% will be funded by SIDBI. Then that debt equity ratio again is liberal in this. That is again that of Smile scheme only. That is 2.5:1. But there is one cost associated to it. We would like to conduct an energy audit if you want to avail this facility, and this energy audit actually costs around 1.25 lakhs. However, we get it done from an outside agency, so we have to pay the fee to them. However, SIDBI subsidizes in this also. So 95,000 rupees will be borne by SIDBI, and 30,000 rupees will be borne by the promoter. And they would, the energy auditor would tell you, what kind of, what kind of industry you are in, and what kind of the latest, machines, which can save you energy, which can give you more output, and how you can install solar panels and all that to save your energy. The advantage is that if you produces electricity more than your requirement, you can sell it to state electricity boards also. So we have funded these kind of projects also. This is another scheme which is known as foreign currency term loan. The rate of interest is very, very low in this scheme, but there is a limitation to it. That is, you should have a natural hedge. I mean, this is mainly for exporters, people who are exporting to outside countries. The risk in this is, I'll explain to you. I'm just coming to that only. The major risk in this is that there could be a currency fluctuation. Say today, you are selling an item for $100, and you are giving a credit period of 3 months, and to the importer in another country. And $1 today says 67 rupees, and after 3 months, if that dollar comes to 50 rupees, so you get only $100, 100 into 50. In today's date, it is 100 into 67. So you have to hedge this risk. How would you do that? It is advantageous to those people who are importing raw materials also. because they will also get a credit period. After 3 months, they will get raw material at cheaper rates. Although they will be getting lesser amount as income in terms of export, but when they import raw material, that will also be cheaper. So this will create a natural hedge.
जिस डेट में आपने दिया है, जिस डेट में मतलब आपने रिसीव किया है, सामान दिया उसने रिसीव किया, वो डेट मतलब उस डेट का जो प्राइस था क्या फिक्स नहीं कराएंगे?
उसके लिए एक और चीज होती है, दैट वो फिक्स तब होता है अगर आप फॉरवर्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं. दिस इज अ फाइनेंशियल डेरिवेटिव, लेकिन देयर इज अ कॉस्ट एसोसिएटेड टू दैट आल्सो. आप अगर इंपोर्ट नहीं भी कर रहे हैं, एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, आप ये लोन ले सकते हैं, बट जनरली वी डू नॉट एडवाइज. अगर आप लगातार एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए ये स्कीम बहुत बढ़िया है, बिकॉज दिस इज at a nominal rate of below 6%. LIBOR, that is London interbank offer rate, which is around 1.5% in today's time, plus 300 to 475 basis point means 3% to 4.75. So it comes out to be below 6%. So the rate is very attractive, but sometimes the promoters forget that the currency fluctuation is that takes a lot of toll. So we, as in SIDBI, we generally advise people that if you have a natural hedge, then only go for it, or if you want to go into forward contract. So there is a fee associated to it, but still it will be below 8 or 9% only, even if you go for forward contract. So you have to see which scheme fits you the best. So whenever a project comes, we look into the merit of the project and then advise the borrower to.
क्योंकि इंडिया में तो मैं भी रुपी का बांग्लादेश में मान लो मैं एक्सपोर्ट करता हूँ
जी,
ठीक है, वो इंटरनेशनली तो रुपी का वैल्यू घटेगा पड़ेगा.
हाँ जी,
लेकिन ऐसा इंडिया में तो प्रभाव दिखाई नहीं देता है.
ठीक है,
तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट भी करने में तो मतलब क्या इतना आराम से लोग तैयार हो जाएंगे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करने में. उस टाइम पे क्या प्राइस होगा उसके हिसाब से मैं रुपी लूंगा आपसे.
सर यही तो हम लोगों का काम है. that is what banks are doing. ये तो we
जो आप बोल रहे हो it's a flow basically.
yeah,
अगर बिजनेस का फ्लो चल रहा है लगातार,
right,
तो ये नहीं कि ये वाले कैपिटल से ये वाले से.
yes flow हाँ लगातार होते रहना चाहिए. आप ऐसे हाँ
एक्सपोर्ट दोनों होना चाहिए ना. तो
हाँ चल रही है. हाँ
आप एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, उसका पैसे ले रहे हैं, उसके
बिल्कुल हाँ, ये फ्लो होना चाहिए. ये नहीं कि जब आपने एक्सपोर्ट किया तभी आप इंपोर्ट कर, ऐसे नहीं. नेचुरली होना चाहिए कि आप रॉ मटेरियल इंपोर्ट भी करते हैं और आप एक्सपोर्ट भी कर रहे हैं, वो लगातार चल रहा है. Balancing, yes.
Not necessarily that will not always happen. You will be exporting more and importing less. You are adding some value.
That is why I told you financial derivatives are there. So you have to see, I mean, how much you are exporting, import. If you are importing less, then go for forward contract.
You may be exporting some other country, importing from some other country, and in that country you could be, say, export you will be realizing in US dollar. In import you may be realizing you are paying in some other currency.
But generally, internationally, dollar is acceptable. Most of 90% of the cases, it's through dollars only. बिल्कुल तब आपको कोई डेरिवेटिव प्रोडक्ट लेना पड़ेगा. तो हमारे पास ऐसे कई प्रोडक्ट्स हैं उसके लिए भी फॉर जहां नेचुरल हेज नहीं है और हेजिंग के लिए वी हैव सेवरल प्रोडक्ट्स फॉर दैट. पर मैंने जैसे कहा कि देयर इज अ फी अटैच्ड टू इट. सो हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा कि हाउ मच कॉस्ट इज देयर, वेदर नॉर्मल स्कीम में लोन लेना बेनिफिशियल है या वो. दैट वी एडवाइज, एज अ फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर वी एडवाइज द बोरोवर. It also fluctuates, sir.
What
Because we on your behalf, we enter into a contract with some other agency outside. So now it's a speculation. So it can range from 2 to 5%. So that on that particular day, our treasury, we talk to our treasury department and we ask them to buy some dollars and keep it intact. So they are, getting those dollars at what rate? It all depends on that. So what we advise you generally, what kind of scheme is best fit for you and how much cost will be borne by you. So that we take care of. This is secured business loan, a very simple scheme. It's popularly known as loan against property. In this scheme, you don't need to tell us in advance you are going to utilize this, loan amount for what purpose. The only condition is that it is for bona fide business expenditure. It should not be like that, because it can be processed very fast. Within a week, you can get the amount in your account. But it should not be like that, you have taken this loan and then the borrower invests it in some property. It should be for business purpose only, for buying machines or for construction purpose or for using it for working capital. But beforehand, you need not tell us. You take the money and then decide where you want to utilize it. So processing becomes very fast.
What's the normal seeding period on applying for loan and on getting the loan? Practicals. It would be varying from different kind of loan, but what is the normal? I mean,
You want to know the turnaround time for?
say I'm applying for loan.
Yeah.
I mean, what duration I'll be able to?
Yes. Turnaround time only.
Varying from different products.
I tell you. We have several committees. We have branch level committees. We have committees at regional office depending on the loan size. Like in case of SIDBI, loans up to 2 crores. Loans up to 5 crores. They are handled at branch level committee. So we take about, like in case of SBL, I told you 1 week. But in case of other schemes, we take about 2 to 3 weeks.
And there was some time you to say and actually practical how much time.
That is why I'm telling. That is why I'm telling you at branch level. At branch level, the cases are processed much faster because the loan size is lesser, so the application size will also be very small. I mean, inquiries will be less because the risk is not much at stake. When it goes to the higher committee, then it may take up to 4 to 6 weeks because we have technical experts out there. We as in branch, we may not be understanding. They might be buying some machinery, which could be having certain kind of technology. So we have certain set of engineers in the bank. They assess, they look into it whether it is, it is viable, financially viable to have that kind of a machine, and how much turnover it can give, how much output that it can give. So they generally ask a few queries. So when it goes up to higher committees, it takes up to 4 to 6 weeks to sanction. Then loan agreement happens and then disbursement happens eventually.
That you have experts. Experts are your employees or you hire the service of expert?
We have our employees also, and like in case of for construction purposes, that is outsourced. We hire the services of architects to evaluate that the cost of building. Otherwise, we would not know. How would we know? How much cost will be? I mean, they give us the estimate. We would not be knowing whether actually this much amount will be will be utilized. It can be diversified or siphoned off. So just to ensure that, and then we also take help from various advocates. If you are acquiring a land, whether that land has a clear title or not, so that we need to know. So this advocate goes to the registrar and then get the entire chain or a chain of title deeds and let us know whether this property is clear and unencumbered, whether it is marketable, having clear title, things like that. So coming back to this secured business loan, as I told you in advance, we don't ask you, you're going to utilize this money. But how do we, assess that how much loan can be loan can be sanctioned. For that, we look at the past track record. This loan is another thing. This loan is not for startups. This loan is not for greenfield projects. It has to be well-established units, having at least track record of past 3 years, profitable track record of past 3 years. So we average it out and then we look into the cash flow and multiply it by the number of years of loan. That much loan we can give. Or the amount of property. Amount of property could be commercial, it could be industrial, it could be residential. So there are various caps. If it is commercial, then you get the maximum value. So 60% of the loan amount. If it is industrial, then 50% of the loan amount. So whichever the cash flows or the value of the property, whichever is low. So that much amount you get. And interest rate is also quite reasonable. It is in the range of 11 to 11.5%. So that is another advantage. Another advantage of this scheme is you don't need to bring any equity. We don't need any contribution from you. So it's simple, loan against property. You give us property, we give you loan. And you can utilize it for any business purpose. But there are certain sectors which are excluded, like investing in stock markets. You cannot invest that money in stock markets. Or for commercial real estate activity, if you buy a shop in any shopping mall or something like that. So this is one thing. These are the popular schemes.
If someone wants to invest the money for starting business like education, like some education, then it is possible to get from outside.
See, SIDBI is mainly for industry. But if you want to set up an institute for educational purpose, not exactly. I mean, for skill development. Say for if you want to set up an institute for mobile repairing, you want to teach the youth, that can be covered. But if you want to open a school or college, that cannot be covered by SIDBI.
Not school and college, but normal teaching, like I want to give some training related to computer, like how can you assemble the computer, how can do some.
Yes.
This
It
type
can.
of
Yes.
Because in rural area, I just want to open this type of a small institute. So it is possible to.
Yes. It is possible. It is
So for
possible.
that, what I have to submit as a document as a security or anything else.
I'll let you know when I come to startups. I'll cover this. I'll cover this point. I want to cover up very important scheme also. That is for economically weaker section of the society. You might have heard about Stand Up India. So
If
F5, okay. So this scheme has been announced by Honorable Prime Minister in August 2015, and primarily meant for weaker sections of the society, that is SC/STs and women entrepreneurs. This scheme is being implemented through banks only. The ministry has given us the mandate to cover at least one such project. Every branch has to cover at least one such project, which is being promoted by either women or SC/STs on a monthly basis. For this, we have for making it, for having an easier dispensation, various agencies are being involved. And SIDBI is the handholding agency. We have created a portal called Stand Up India. It has been developed by SIDBI only in-house and maintained by SIDBI only. The benefit of this portal is that you get all the information. What kind of schemes are there under this yojana, and you can apply online. You need not give any formal physical application. It's very easy to fill in. The loan size under this scheme is between 10 lakh to 1 crore. I'll cover it one by one and it will be automatically covered. So this is the eligibility, who all are eligible. SC, ST and women entrepreneurs above 18 years of age. Under this scheme, loan can be given to greenfield projects also, like the one you were talking about.
ST or women के लिए ये was.
Yes. Only meant for economically weaker section of the society. Since many times we see that there are very few women entrepreneurs. There could be businesses in the name of women, but they are not really running the show. Their husbands, their sons. So we want to promote them to have to be active and become entrepreneurs. Greenfield projects are any graduate coming out of any business school or engineering institute and want to set up. He doesn't have any background, any business background. So that is a greenfield project. That can also be covered under this. That can also be covered, and there is no, as I told you, the limitation is only up to 1 crore to start with a smaller this thing, and again there is no need for collateral. There is another trust, that is National Credit Guarantee Trustees Limited, that covers the collateral security part. So by an enterprise, by such enterprise, what I means is that there could be a partnership firm where a woman is a partner and another person is male, but the stake of that woman in this business should be 51%. So these kind of companies, these kind of firms can also be covered, and similarly it goes for SC/ST. They can also have a partnership with a general category person, but their stake should be major. So these kind of people are eligible to take loan from various banks. So in this scheme is not only applicable to SIDBI. You can go to any bank, and the mandate has been given. All the nationalized banks, they have to necessarily cover these smaller amount of loans under Stand Up India program. Again, in this, 75% of the total project cost can be covered by way of loan, and 25% has to be brought in by the promoter or the entrepreneur. However, if you're getting any subsidy from any state or from center, then this cap will not apply. So out of that 25%, say if you're getting 10 rupees subsidy, out of 25 rupees, if you're getting 10 rupees subsidy, then we'll not ask you that, we'll not say that we'll give you only 65, 10 is subsidy and 25 rupees from your own pocket. So that can be treated as a quasi-equity or promoter contribution, that subsidy. As I already told you, it is collaterally secured and guaranteed by National Credit Guarantee Trustees Company. So there is no need for collateral. The maximum tenure of the loan is 7 years, and the maximum moratorium period in which you just have to pay interest and not the principal amount is 1.5 years. Okay, for if you need working capital for day-to-day operations, generally what you do is you open a cash credit account with a bank, and all the debits and credits and all the transactions are routed through this account. But for smaller amounts, like up to 10 lakh rupees, we don't insist on cash credit accounts. You can open a current account, and we can give you overdraft facility on that. I'd say up to 10 lakh rupees. But if it is above 10 lakh rupees, it is difficult to handle it through overdraft facility. So the cash credit account is open. Then there are basic eligibility criteria that the borrower should not be in default to any bank or financial institution. Though you may not be having, it could be a greenfield business, but we do a KYC and we do a due diligence of the borrower You might have taken a credit card or home loan or car loan. So if your track record is not good, then it becomes difficult, obviously difficult. Your credit rating would be lower. As I told you, Stand Up India portal is being maintained by SIDBI, and you get all the information about the various kind of agencies, which includes NABARD and other commercial banks, like what kind of role they are playing and what is their roles and responsibilities. Application form, as earlier told, that it can be submitted online, and the same will be monitored by NABARD appointed, lead district managers or district level managers, and submission of application is linked with Aadhaar, so no need for any extra KYC document. Your Aadhaar will work as your know your customer document, so that your eligibility will be adjusted based on that. Since it is an online portal, you can lodge applications from anywhere, so that is another advantage. Another advantage of this portal is when you lodge an application, various banks, they look into this portal and they can offer you. So whichever bank is offering you better rates, you can go to that bank. So it is a win-win situation. We as in banks are also getting ready-made business. We need not go into the market and look for various prospects. So both ways it is a win-win situation. Then tracking becomes very easier, that you have submitted an application, it has been accepted by a bank online only. It is at what stage, what is the turnaround time when it is getting sanctioned, it is stuck at what stage. If a bank has any queries, they can raise it online only, they can reply back to you, and then you can give in your compliances online. So, but you have to be a bit tech savvy. So we assume that the young entrepreneurs, the budding entrepreneurs, they are tech savvy. They are much into WhatsApp and Facebook. So we assume that it should be easier for them to operate these kind of portals. So you can monitor on real-time basis that it is at what stage, whether it is a processing stage, it is with the sanctioning committee, what is happening. सिडबी का क्या रोल है अब इसमें? सिडबी का एक तो जैसे मैंने अभी बताया कि we have to maintain Stand Up India web portal, and the borrowers, there could be borrowers from rural background, they might not be very tech savvy. So SIDBI's role is to assist them. The application under this scheme will be accepted only through online mode. So SIDBI, wherever there is a nearest branch, a borrower can approach them. We have nodal officers for Stand Up India program. They will then and there assist them in filling up their application form and how to go about it.
How many branches you have?
Throughout the country, we have only about 75 branches. As I told you, we are not full-fledged bank. We don't have current accounts or savings account. We can't issue checks. We are a financial institution and mainly a refinance institution. We are funding banks and other institutions for on lending. So they are our extended arms.
Like as you are telling that you are mostly a handholding agency for the rural areas.
Yes.
Are you mostly majorly based on the rural sites?
No, not really. But NABARD is there. They also have the same role. Okay. When a bank has picked up a project, it need not necessarily be SIDBI, it could be somebody else also. And if the proposal is getting stuck up, SIDBI will liaison with those banks and help the borrower to understand why it is stuck up, what are the queries of the bank, what all need is required. And if required, we can talk to the bankers directly.
The information you get through the portal.
Yes. That entire information will get through the portal. And then we various stand-up events are being organized by NABARD, so we also participate. We also interact with the young entrepreneurs, and of late, we have conducted various such programs, but primarily in northern India, which is very surprisingly, startup funding or startup projects have not taken up very much. It is primarily in the west, in Gujarat and Maharashtra. Those entrepreneurs are very enthusiastic about all these things, and they are very much aware. One more thing I would like to tell you. This may not be in this context. You might have heard a term that customer is a king. I would like to take you a little back, like in early, 70s or 80s. It was very, very difficult to take a loan from a bank, because banks, even financial institutions, were not matured enough how to fund a project, and industrial growth was also very low. Policies were like that. There was a license raj, very difficult to set up a unit. Post liberalization 1990. License Raj was removed. A lot of multinationals came in. Economy opened, and we got this new thing that customer is a king. So you have to give loans anyhow. A lot of funding happened. A lot of credit cards were given. A lot of home loans were given. Car loans, even industrial loans. And there came a crisis in the mid 2000s. That is called subprime crisis. Many loans turned bad. So banks followed this policy that customer is the king, and that is what the management said, that go ahead and give loans. Eventually, at that stage, such was the crisis that many of big banks, like even Bank of America, was on the verge of closing. So they had, the government their government had to give a bailout package to them to get out of this crisis. Now banks has been given a bit liberty. They can choose the customers, and they can treat. They have an option to select those customers which they can treat as a king. Now every customer is not king. So customer, we like a customer expects from a bank. Bank also expects a lot from a customer now, and that is, a customer should be aware about financial markets, about economy in general, about banking industry, about what kind of project they are setting in. We are looking into educational qualification now, whether that person is actually would actually be able to implement this project. So customer is a king, but on a selective basis now, post this subprime crisis. So that was just off the record. I thought I must share my views with you. So NABARD is also having a similar kind of role, so I need not elaborate much on that. Even bank branches, they also have to help potential borrowers in accessing the portal, process loan applications received online. And there is a code of commitment from RBI. That is the turnaround time. You said, as you asked me, that how much time generally it takes to process a loan. So we have to adhere to this guideline. There is a code of bank's commitment. We have to process, depending on the loan size, we have to process a loan within a certain period. Then grievance redressal. If you have any grievance, it can be posted online. And again, according to Code of Banks commitment, we have to give reply. Even if we have rejected a loan, for what reason we have rejected a loan, and why we are not able to process it. There are other handholding agencies like training institutes and industrial training institutes and industrial training centers, and obviously they provide vocational trainings or skill development. So we are seeking help from them only. We are approaching them so that we can help those people seeking professional training, vocational training, and want to set up a business. So we are providing training to them about, just like here we are giving you basic information about our schemes. We go over there and tell the students about the basic information of our financial schemes. Then financial training also we are giving, an engineering student or a polytechnic student or an architectural student may not be knowing much about finances. So what are all the requirements? What all is needed? Like we tell you about the balance sheets. We tell you about debt equity ratio, how to maintain it. How to have financial discipline, show taxes, and show correct profits. How does that help you? So these kind of financial discipline trainings we are providing to the young and budding entrepreneurs. And audited, signed by CA, of course. उसी के basis पे we do the rating. Not only balance sheet, there are certain other things also that we look into for doing the rating. We, as I said, KYC is very important now. So we talk to, if you have taken a loan, we talk to other banks. What is the credit record of that person? We take in CIBIL se milta hai, and there are other institutes and other sites also from where we get these sort of information. So these are other handholding agencies like industry associations and chambers, district industry centers, then rural self-employment training institutes, and entrepreneurship development institutes. So we are in regular touch with them. We have provided training to them so that if anybody wants to know about Stand Up India program, how to fill in the application, how to go about it. So on a regular basis, we are interacting with them, we are training them so that none of the borrowers, they face difficulty. Because as I said, we have a very limited branch network. So they are our extended arms. We are reaching out to them and helping them out to make them understand how to take advantage of this Stand Up India program. Last, I have a very small presentation for startup. This would be of more interest to you. See, primarily, whenever there is a startup project, a young man or woman want to set up a business, they go to a bank, and generally bank says no. They say we need a immovable property, or since you don't have a background, it is even difficult to cover you under credit guarantee scheme. I mean, how do we trust you? How do we do it? The basic problem is the banks or even SIDBI, we don't have enough understanding because we are not actually technical people to understand whether the project is financially viable or not. So how to cover up these projects, because these startups are also very important for the development of our economy. So with the government of India, we have established a fund of 10,000 crore for this very purpose. What we are going to do is we will become fund of funds. Fund of fund means we will be funding to private equity, private equity funds, or popularly known as venture capital funds. So we will be funding to them out of these funds, and then they will further do their analysis and do the on lending part. Yeah, you were asking something?
Venture capital fund, what is that?
If you have an innovative idea, or you want to set up a project, may not be necessarily a new idea every time, because new idea that does not generate every day. It could be a similar kind of a project, but somewhat different to what is already there. So how would you raise the equity for that? Banks generally do not assist. So these angel funds, venture capital funds, they assist you with that. They put in their investment, they put in their equity, get regular dividends, and after a certain period of time, they exit from that project. Either they sell their stake to somebody else, or the promoter can buy back the stake from them. So these are the venture capital funds. SIDBI has also has an associate called SIDBI Venture Capital Fund. So have you ever heard about Wildcraft? They make backpacks and hiking gears and all that. Yes. So it was promoted by SIDBI. We invested equity, and you know how much return we got? We got 600% return. For every 1 rupee, I got back 600 rupees. So from very small company to having become a large company, that gives us a kind of gratitude for a kind of a feeling. So there are other projects also there. A taxi, call cab taxi services, which has also been financed by SIDBI in Mumbai. That is also doing very well. So these kind of innovative ideas, new projects can be covered under venture capital funding. So I need not elaborate much on that. It has been announced by Honorable Prime Minister only. This is Startup India scheme, and SIDBI has created a corpus of 10,000 crore for fund of funds. Fund of funds would participate in the capital of alternative investment funds. Then alternative investment funds is nothing but your venture capital funds or private equity funds, but they have to be registered with SEBI. And they have certain guidelines, and they categorize into category 1 and category 2. So they have to be standard good funds. Below category 2, we are not going to assist them. So these funds, these private equity funds would invest in various startups at early stage, seed stage, growth stage, which means they need not necessarily enter into the project from day one. If you have already invested in some equity and you have already started a bit of operations, then also we can, we could be funding these kind of projects. Venture capital does not mean that only from early stage we have to get involved. Maybe we can get involved after say 1 or 2 years. If the project is viable and if it is promising, then we can get into it and get it funded by us. It is not restricted to any sector. Almost all the sectors can be covered. Except as I said, educational institutes we do not cover. Anything related to liquor industry, that we do not cover. That kind of things. The red area industries, that we do not cover under this. Now, what is a startup? That will be the primary question. Any entity incorporated or registered in India not prior to 5 years, with annual turnover not exceeding rupees 25 crore in any preceding year, working towards innovation, development, deployment, or commercialization of new products or services. Provided that such entity is not formed by splitting up or reconstruction of a business already in existence. It could be 5-year-old, but it has to be a new project altogether. It should not be like that, a unit is already there, a company is already there, and to take advantage of this scheme, you are splitting it up and form a new company and transfer some assets from A company to B company just for availing this loan.
आइडिया पुराना भी हो सकता है.
आइडिया तो पुराना हो सकता है, तो 5 साल पुरानी कंपनी को we can take it up.
नहीं कोई नया स्टार्ट करे.
What I feel actually, ये जितनी भी स्कीम actually गवर्नमेंट ने डिजाइन निकाली है, जो एक्चुअल बेनिफिशियरी है बेसिकली most of the time, basically, banks and process है आपकी, procedures है basically, they are very very complicated. Basically, they are not easy. Now the thing is, जो already set companies हैं, right? They do some kind of charge to BC kind of thing, right?
Yes, yes.
So what they do, they start up, pick up a one person, young entrepreneur, right? And they finance, they take the loan, 9% interest or something, right? So how the government of India is going to plan like this, really, to avoid these kind of things? Corruptions and all that thing. That you can understand.
Yes, 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 yes.
Because 8 and 9% पे अगर आपको loan मिल रहा है, जो कि 13% पे मिल रहा है,
right?
So everybody is looking for that actually, particular thing.
That is very true. That is very true. That is the reason why. See, अगर कोई बड़ी कंपनी है, जैसे अभी Reliance Jio, it's the biggest startup. It is also a startup. It is the biggest startup to be launched in India. बट यहाँ हमने इसलिए लिमिटेशंस डाली हुई हैं कि लोन का साइज इस अमाउंट से ऊपर नहीं होगा, ताकि जो एक्चुअली जिन लोगों को रिक्वायरमेंट है उन लोगों को फंडिंग हो सके, यहाँ पर ऑलरेडी एस्टेब्लिश्ड प्लेयर्स ना आए. दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई आई एम होपफुल. अभी इट इज एट इनिशियल स्टेज. अभी तो हमें ऐसे फंड्स को आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि जो इस स्कीम में लोन लेने के लिए एलिजिबल हों. अभी तो हमने जस्ट एक इन्वेस्टमेंट कमेटी एक बनाई है, वो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इंडस्ट्री एंड प्रमोशन जो है वहां से अप्रूव होगा वो कमेटी, एंड देन वी विल आइडेंटिफाई सच काइंड ऑफ फंड्स हु आर रजिस्टर्ड विद सेबी, एंड जहां पर हम इन फंड्स को 10,000 करोड़ को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं.
When I come to this course, I come to know all this startup and all that thing. We were not knowing anything about these kind of programs. So if I could understand, if we don't know actually these things, right? Rural or these kind of areas, जैसे आपने बताया, north में people are not aware of actually what these are and how they can avail these benefits. So what are the awareness programs basically? That is the, I think, the key point of it.
Yeah, this we are about to start actually with the help of NABARD. We are going to cover entire Punjab region. We'll be traveling to their setup wherever they have a setup. They have a concept called resident officer branch, wherein in rural areas, in villages, they have only a one-man branch, but at least they have a network. So we will collaborate with them and we'll try to propagate or promote this scheme. But this came as a very surprise to me, because this was launched by Prime Minister of India in a very big fashion and in a very big way. It was for government it was a marketing tool, but a lot of awareness was created. But what I feel is the follow-up was lacking by various stakeholders. प्रमोट तो ये स्टार्टिंग में बहुत बड़े लेवल पे हुआ, लेकिन उसके बाद जो है जो एडवर्टीजमेंट्स होनी चाहिए थी या जो हैंड होल्डिंग होनी चाहिए थी वो उस लेवल पे नहीं हुआ. तो उसके लिए हमारे पास डायरेक्शंस आए हैं गवर्नमेंट से. हमें एक टारगेट दिया है कि हमें इतनी मीटिंग्स होल्ड करनी है इस रीजन में, तो उसके लिए हमें फीडबैक रिपोर्ट भी देना है. तो आई थिंक द थिंग्स विल स्टार्ट वर्किंग आउट नाउ. जैसा कि मैंने अभी बोला कि अभी बहुत इनिशियल स्टेज में है. ऑपरेशनल गाइडलाइंस के लिए मिनिस्ट्री ने सिडबी को कहा गया था व्हाट विल बी द गाइडलाइंस, जो भी जैसे लोन का अमाउंट कितना होना चाहिए, कितना सैंक्शन कर सकते हैं. दैट हैज ऑलरेडी बीन सबमिटेड टू डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज एंड प्रमोशन फॉर देयर कंकरेंस. वहां से जैसे कंकरेंस आएगा, कमेटी भी हमने बना ली है, उसके लिए भी हमने परमिशन मांगा है from DIPP only. So I think within next 3 or 4 months it should start rolling, and we should be able to identify private equity funds. उसका हमारा प्लान है कि हम उसको बिग वे में एडवर्टाइज करेंगे कि where people who want to start up a new project, where they can approach to which kind of equity funds so that it becomes easier for them to raise debt also, raise loan also in the eventual course.
One more thing, actually, what I used